I'm on board.
Yep, nobody online.
Okay, gonna go ahead and call to order the regular meeting of the Larkspur Parks and Recreation Commission. Today is Thursday, October 17th, 2024. The time is 6:32. And we're gonna start off with a roll call. Mr. Stone, takes three.
Commissioner Sunshine,
Here.
Commissioner Friedel,
Here.
Commissioner Baxter,
Here.
Vice Chair Harrison,
Here.
and Chair Capel.
Here. Full house. All right, item number 2 on the docket here is the public comment. There's no one in the audience. Is there anyone online looking to speak?
Nobody online.
No one online. Well, then we're just gonna go right ahead to item number 3. This is the approval of the consent calendar. We have 2 of them. The first is from June 20th, 24. And I'll entertain a motion for those minutes.
And for the June 20th meeting, I'll say that
I was not there. I know.
correct. So it was Chair Harrison, Commissioner Baxter, Commissioner Friedel, and Commissioner Sunshine were in attendance at this one.
Make a
And this-
motion to approve June 20, the minutes of June 2024.
Can I get a second?
I will second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion passes 4-0 with Chair Capel abstaining.
Okay, and now we're gonna move on to the approval of the minutes from September 19th, 2024. Again, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Were we all there?
In
I was there.
attendance went Chair Capel, Commissioner Friedel, and Commissioner Sunshine.
You were here.
Glad it was so memorable.
I'll make a motion.
And I will say with Commissioner Sunshine.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Motion passes 3-0 with Commissioner Harrison and Commissioner Baxter abstaining.
There are no items on the public hearing agenda. That means we're gonna move to item 5, the business items, and that is the neighborhood park, dog park rules, and that'll be led by Recreation Director Stone.
Thank you. So this is pretty short thing. You guys heard the Piper Park dog park rules about 18 months ago when we went through this process. So what we're looking to do right now, it was brought to my attention over the course of the last month that there are no rules posted at Neighborhood Park. Neighborhood Park, if you remember, is the one right behind Marin Country Mart, and it's connected to the Serenity Apartments. We've had a great relationship with them over the years, and in 2019, Serenity invested heavily in the park, creating helping us pay for the new sign out there. A new playground was done before then. Dog park was put in, as well as some exercise equipment. And all of that equipment, once installed, was turned over to the city for ownership and operation. And one thing that was brought to our attention this last month is that there are no dog park rules out at the park. So I am here with you tonight to go through the rules. I have given you a copy of what we have at Piper Park, and I kind of use this as a template for what we would use going forward. You've been to the dog park at Neighborhood Park. It's much smaller than Piper Park. It's a good size, but it is one park. It is not a large and a small dog park. Synthetic turf, well shaded. There's water out there, dog bags, but a pretty straightforward dog park. And what I would ask you to do tonight is to go through these rules that we have for the Piper Park Dog Park, and I would like to have very similar rules so that we can kind of keep it the same across the board. So there's going to be some slight tweaks that need to be changed, and if there's anything that comes up that you would like to change or discuss, we can do that now.
Thanks, Nick. Any comments from any of the commissioners?
No, I mean, it makes sense, and it looks like the obvious one that would not carry over from Piper would be the one regarding large and small dogs, but it looks pretty consistent, and the ones at Piper, I assume, are working.
They are working, as far as I know. You've heard one comment about some ads that we would like, but generally I hear almost nothing about anything about the rules. It's mostly about maintenance type issues with the park.
And of course, the second item about the large dogs not being permitted in small dog areas because there is no there's not a separate large and small in that park.
Correct. Yeah, just one park.
So Nick, it says open from sunrise to sunset, is locked, does someone control that, is it just? on the
That
outside?
is typically a rule that we will keep on most parks. Parks close at sunset, and that's an easy rule for police to point to if they ever need to be called out. I'm sure that park is used after sunset, but
Yeah.
I'm curious, do you know how well used the dog enclosure is, and would people, if there were problems, would they call us? I guess maybe if the sign was up, or would they call the building management?
they should be calling the city for any issues. So the usage, every time I go out there, which is not very often, there's usually 1 or 2 dogs in there. I think that in the evenings, there could be a handful of people out there. I do know that there are a lot of dogs out on the grass outside of the dog park. So there does seem to be a lot of use based on the wear and tear of the synthetic turf in the dog park, that it does seem to be a heavily used park. I am not there at those times
Yeah.
usually.
Yeah, so the number here, that's their number, right? Maintenance 927-5017, or is that us on the bottom? That's Park Park's number, right?
Correct, so the
What numbers would be listed?
Public Works maintains, so this is for maintenance, the 5017 number is Public Works number for maintenance.
So would we just to Commissioner Sunshine's point, would that be theirs?
No, we
Theirs.
maintain and operate the dog park. Yeah, so it's on city property. It was built by Serenity in partnership with us, and turned the ownership of the equipment and everything was turned over to the city for maintenance and operations.
We maintain the park,
Correct,
obviously, and we maintain the dog park.
correct.
So the only, I mean, this seems like kind of a no-brainer to me, and to the point of large, small dog, there's only one park, so it's fine. The only thing I would like to see on here is, that it sort of matches our new signage. You know, I mean, this is the city seal, but we have park signage now that we spend a gazillion hours on. And so that, and something about, I mean, this is an opportunity, because there's not a lot of signage over there. And I think it's super confusing that park actually is a Larkspur City Park and not a private park for those condos. So this would be an opportunity to say that it's to put the city logo on here. And maybe if we're gonna do this, to make it look like our signage, maybe. I know those are expensive, but maybe some way to put that logo on there or
Where-
something.
So for clarification, this right here is actually a printout of what the Piper Park dog sign looks like, and it's in green, but you're right, it doesn't match the entrance signs for the parks. Are you asking for?
But Piper Park very clearly belongs to Larkspur.
Mhm.
This park clearly is very confusing that it's actually a Larkspur Park, even though, because if you were to drive into that area, it very obviously looks like it belongs to Serenity.
Mhm.
there's a park, it's not identified as a Larkspur City Park. And I'm saying it's an opportunity to identify that it's a Larkspur City Park, and that it's maintained by Larkspur. And I mean, you put both on there, because it clearly is, it's a great partnership between Mr. Renner and the city, but I'm just saying it'd be nice to identify that it also belongs to the city, and the city's doing the maintenance.
But it does have the city.
That's a
Park
city
logo.
seal on it, but I mean,
No, I'm talking about a neighborhood
sign.
park, it has the sign, it has the.
the front entryway has the neighborhood.
Yeah, it was the
Has our
first
real-
one.
Yeah, you were there, yeah.
Yeah, okay, all right. And maybe have
There was installed,
another
yeah.
one someplace, maybe another entrance?
It's right on the street, right? It's right on the front.
Right on the,
street line.
if you were entering from.
And no
from-
one comes that way because there's no parking there. You should
No.
drive, you zip by it when you drive by it.
Likely not.
I'm just, I mean, it'd just be nice.
So were you thinking more along the lines of, so instead of like for maintenance, you would say for maintenance, contact Larkspur?
But yeah, maybe put our name on there, because the
Department
phone
of
number, the
Public Works.
maintenance, right, you can just say, yeah, that it's Larkspur City Maintenance or something. Just somewhat identified, I don't know, maybe I'm picky, but, I mean, Larkspur is maintaining it, not that condo complex, and like,
Mhm.
it's one way to identify it.
Okay.
It's always been sort of a bone of contention of mine that that condo complex enjoys that park, and it's,
They're the sole beneficiary.
yeah, exactly, they're the sole beneficiary, perfect sentence.
Could you call it City of Larkspur Dog Park, just even?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
Okay, yeah.
And that's just, I mean, that, not maybe the only one who feels that way, but I'm very proud of our parks and parking and Public Works is taking care of that park, and they're not really identified. City seal,
Okay, so,
That's all-
yeah,
that's
so if
all.
I were to look to design the signs, kind of look to include the city of Lark.
Just said that, I think even if it says Larkspur City Maintenance or something that
Mhm.
identifies in some way.
Yeah.
That's not like.
Yeah, or up at the top where it says, welcome to the Larkspur Dog Park, maybe you can say, welcome to the city of Larkspur, and actually, it's a city of Larkspur Dog Park, really, because it's.
There you go, maybe that.
More
is
than one.
It's, we have more than one.
So we have this item open for discussion. Do you guys want to come up with a, like a first sentence for that,
Welcome to, City of Larkspur Dog Park, I think we could just.
You can say City of Larkspur Dog Park rules.
And down below, yeah. That would stand out even more, actually, under dog, instead of dog park rules, say city of Larkspur.
Funny,
Dog
because
Park
Yeah.
rules.
when we were doing
That
the
would really stand out.
dog park in Piper.
Yeah.
We kept saying our dog park, and we in fact have dog parks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we should take pride in plurality.
Well,
That's a great sentence structure.
Very logical, yeah.
So if you want to read back the revised first sentence to us, please.
welcome to a city of sorry. Welcome to a city of Larkspur Dog Park. This park is intended to provide dogs a healthy and safe environment for leash-free socializing and exercise. Please help us keep it that way by following these rules.
Okay, thanks. And then Jean, you were also suggesting on the bottom there for City of Larkspur Maintenance.
I just think that, I mean, for me, I think you should identify who you're calling.
Any other comments?
Because there's
by-
no sign there now, right? Am I correct?
Correct.
So they're not gonna know who they're calling, so it should say that. Because maintenance to them could be their maintenance department. So we should say that anyway. That's not a proprietary thing, we should let them know who they're calling.
Any commissioners have any objection or other comments about these two changes?
the only question I would have is whether or not you want something that says, as a header, city of Larkspur Dog Park rules, to really pull people's eye. That would be nothing I would even, but it may be redundant.
It seems to me a little redundant since we have the seal,
I think it needs to be
we
one.
have that first sentence, and we have on the bottom, City of Larkspur Maintenance. I like the brevity and the simplicity of dog park rules.
Yeah, I think that, I'm fine with that, and then the sentence has the. Yes, I think it needs to be more of the other, yeah.
I will say, I appreciate you bringing it up.
Yep.
And I think just, this is a great way of making the point for those hopefully who read it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's all-
yeah, but no, I think that change, those two changes make sense to me, so.
Any more comments on the two proposed changes or any of the other language, for the dog park? And if not, I'll entertain a motion for the adoption or the, I'll entertain a motion.
I would make a motion that on the new sign, we include the text, welcome to a Larkspur. Or as read by Nick, the new sentence structure, and that we include Larkspur identified as the maintenance phone number. Is that clean enough?
Clean enough for me.
Okay. And can we get a second?
I will second that motion.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes
Motion
5-0.
Well, thank you, Nick, for that.
Yeah.
And, that is the, only item on for the business today. And we're gonna move on to item number 6, the director's oral report.
So many things. Get comfortable. You should have all, or you may be receiving, within the next day, the Larkspur recreation brochure should be hitting homes. You give me a thumbs up if you got it, because I'm always nervous because I don't get them here. Okay, I haven't gotten them, all right. So this one's coming out a little bit late for my taste, but I think it actually is gonna hit perfectly for things like the pumpkin patch, which is coming up this Sunday, so I'd love to see you all there. It's gonna be our first time doing this, the inaugural Piper Park Pumpkin Patch. It'll be Sunday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Commissioner Friedel and the wrecking crew will be out there selling pumpkins, raising money for the wrecking crew. So if you're interested in volunteering, let her know. I'm gonna have a handful of volunteers from the community, teen volunteers, they're gonna be out helping me. They're gonna be spreading pumpkins, hay bales, setting up photo booths, corn stalk teepees, coloring pages, and all those things. My vision for this pumpkin patch is that it's gonna be kind of smaller, less involved pumpkin patch that you don't have to travel for. So we'll see how it goes. I'm excited about it. We're gonna have a couple hundred pumpkins out there, closer to a few hundred pumpkins. And I'm excited about it. It's something I've talked about for a couple of years. So I'm glad that it's right around the corner. Right after that, on November 2nd, we're going to be having the Niven Park Playground opening at Alex's Playground. As you know, Rita's been working on this project for a few years, and I am so excited every time I drive by it. My in-laws were actually in town this last weekend, and we went out to Gott's, and I made them drive by the playground so we could talk about what's going on out there. So I'm very excited about that. That'll be November 2nd. We're setting up activities and stuff now, but very important. I hope you guys can all be there. I think the start time is 10 a.m. for that as well. And let's see, interviews. We did interviews last week for the recreation coordinator position. We had some great candidates, and I am going to be interviewing 2 of those candidates in the next couple weeks. So it's still moving a little bit slowly, but we're really close. And I think from what it sounds like on the first panel, we had Damon Hill, the library director, sat on it, as well as Kat Riesinger and Jason Fong from Petaluma and Santa Fe Recreation Departments, who I've known for years, that sat on this panel and helped, and they were very excited for these candidates to meet me. So I'm hoping that at the November meeting, I'll have a name for you. And maybe even in person. We'll see. Rita's park, I shouldn't say Rita's, but the park signs that Rita has been working so hard on are finally starting to be wrapped up. The Piper Park one is going in right now. It's a lot of work. I was watching from my office window yesterday. They must have pulled out like, I don't even know how many cubic yards of concrete from the old sign, but that thing was not going anywhere. So I'm very excited. I think that one will probably be up in the next couple days. So hopefully in time for the pumpkin patch if they're able to finish it tomorrow. So very excited about that. We also, as part of this different project, you guys met in June with Emma Oil, who's an artist that's going to be designing our who is designing our nature panels. And we've seen the first kind of very rough drafts of those that aren't ready to present to you guys yet, but I'm hoping that in the next either November or December, you'll see a very close to finished presentation from her. But we did hire her to do a map of Piper Park, which is one of the things that I always hear about in the summer is people are constantly asking, you know, what's out of Piper. They'll be on the phone with me, and I've never had a map that I can show them. I'm pulling up Google Earth with them and looking at the satellite views, which is outdated by a few years. And I was like, well, that's actually not there anymore. Or, you know, that's been over here. The dog park's over here. So this new map is really cool. She did a really great job on it. It's got an artistic twist on it that I'm really excited about. And I've seen that one. I ordered the prints. They are being shipped to me, and I should have those up by I want to say this weekend. So Piper Park will be really cool. This weekend there'll be a few changes if you guys are able to go to the pumpkin patch.
If you could bring a copy of that park map in next, or one of the meetings, that'd
Yeah.
be great for the commissioners.
Absolutely, a big one. The Piper Park parking lot is set to be redone. Construction is actually supposed to start on the 21st, Monday. I think it's actually been delayed a little bit, so I'll have to get an update on that. But we're going to be closing half the parking lot at a time. Reason being is we have to regrade and do all the drainage again. I think we had thought it was maybe going to be a little kind of straightforward. We'd shut it down for a week, get it done, and get out of there. But it looks like it'll be a multi-week project, so we're going to shut it down half at a time. The perk of that is that we don't have to shut down the parking lot to the park, so that people can still utilize the park while it's happening. As part of this project, what we're going to be doing is adding a strip of concrete right outside of the pickleball court. So this tennis court number 3. We're going to be adding a strip of concrete and a small fence out there as a kind of like a waiting area, patio. Right now we have on a busy day, we'll have 40 or so pickleballers out on the courts, and the feedback that we get from that is everybody's tripping on each other. Everybody's tripping on the bags that people bring out, the water bottles, and that they feel really tight there. The other feedback that we get from tennis players is there's too many people on the court, it's too loud. Can they move? So this kind of makes sense. We're working with Julian and the Public Works Department, and we're gonna basically, while the parking lot is being redone, take out a little stretch of oleanders right outside of tennis court 3 and create like a waiting area, patio zone that'll hopefully create a safer area for people to wait to play.
Will there be seats?
We will put some benches out there.
Benches.
Yeah. And good. Other than that, theater is up and running. Willy Wonka will be showing at the Marin Civic Center with Katya and company in late October, which we're almost there. And if you've been around for a while, you've noticed that I think Katya switches up these shows every 3 years. She's on a cycle that goes through. So this is, I think, my third time of Willy Wonka. So I know all the songs and very excited for those kids to get up and perform in a couple of weeks. And then the only other thing is the garden is wrapping up for the winter, and they're cleaning out their plots and kind of winterizing everything right now, which involves getting rid of any weeds and plants and kind of turning it down for the winter and throwing everything in green bins. And the planting season will start officially kick off again in February. And that concludes my reports.
Thank you, Nick. Any questions for Nick on any of the topics he brought up? Okay, we will move on to the commissioners' reports. Do any of the commissioners have a report of their own?
It's like, gee. Well, as Nick mentioned, the wrecking crew will be out at Pumpkin Patch. And we're very crafty. Duke and I are gonna come out, we can make a cone depressor art Frankenstein, or a ghost, or a pumpkin. We'll be handing out trick or treat candy. And we have temporary tattoos. And some sort of slimy thing that kids like, I'm not sure. And all sorts of things. And Nick has assured me that I'll have power, so my frog machine will work. And then, I know, I'm very excited. And everyone who's coming out to volunteer for wrecking crew is gonna be in costume. I was told today, so I'm somewhat terrified by that. And then, just, I would imagine our chair knows this already, but on the 26th, we're going to have the groundbreaking for the library. I received the invitation, I assume.
Yes, yeah.
So we invited our major donors, and so the groundbreaking, everyone I'm sure has seen the story polls, which we'll be very happy to drive by them. So the official groundbreaking is happening for the library, not the ribbon cutting, but groundbreaking. So we're gonna do the whole shovel and hat and do that whole thing. And very important for the record, Joe Jennings is back in town. He's been, well, he moved to Seattle, as most people know, but then he's been living in Italy for this year. Right? And so he was back in town for it. So Joe Jennings, who is what I feel the most responsible for getting this thing going and raising that first 5 million. So he will be here for that. So it's very exciting. That is the 26th at 10:30. So people will be big, and people are coming. Dignitaries are coming. I'll do the whole thing. Walk on over, take a look. Very exciting putting that shovel on the ground. Ceremonial, but still kind of.
It should be a fine celebration of a major accomplishment for the city.
Oh my gosh, the city, and if you have there was another meeting on council last night about it. City's been tremendous in moving it along and answering all the city constituents have had concerns. It's gonna have solar now. That became a big issue recently, planning, revamp the plans, the, Noel and Tam, the architects, have revamped it to give it more of a square feel, so there's more of a commons area, which is sort of got lost in translation, so they modified the parking a little, and so now there's more of a meeting space feel, like grass areas, so everyone involved is just really dug in and been amazing, so even more delighted.
And the fundraising still continues?
Fundraising still continues. The Commons is still looking to finish out another 1 million to do all the pretty stuff. Because the project is a design build. So there's lots of restrictions on it. The 5.2 that the Commons raised was met by a state grant. That was 5.2, and that state grant comes with very specific restrictions on what you can and cannot do. And design build means that the architect and the design build is the architect and the contractor work together, and it's like, I can do this for this. It's a very specific process of a construction. So the Commons is still raising the 1 million, and we're more than halfway there to do pretty, for design build, you get grass, and we want a garden. So and we want Larkspur to have that sort of experience. And quite honestly, for and there was $1 million grant from the county, so whatever the final number was, 13 million or whatever the final library wherever we are currently on the project cost. To get it done, the city really stepped up, and Dan and the budget found the money because they want the city to have a library that it deserves, so. Pretty exciting.
Well, thanks, Gene.
It's scary, it's in the city, you know.
Any other reports from commissioners?
Hard to follow that.
Yeah, hard to top that. I guess in my day job, I met with this Transportation Authority of Marin, and they're starting a countywide bike share pilot program. Bike shares it's a group of bikes that you can pick up at one location, ride it to another, one-way trip, go wherever you want. You have to leave it somewhere, and then they have a van that they sponsor that reconciles the bikes after the fact. I'd be curious if we'd be interested in exploring this in Larkspur, or if we're already a part of it. I think it's a city council decision, I believe, but I'm not sure, but it does seem like something that might fit what we're trying to do at some of our larger parks.
You know, what just came to mind is the council, I think Thursday, the last night at council is entertaining a climate environmental something committee,
Yeah,
putting together a commission like ours, but for climate and I can't think of what else is it. I can't have the agenda here. And they're working with, Allison they're using the Santa Fe model. Santa Fe has a commission, and that might be something that falls under that purview. Because that
Okay.
makes sense, right? You know,
Yeah.
ride a bike instead of drive your car somewhere.
Yeah.
So that might be something that falls in there. You might wanna, that might be something they might know. And Councilman Paulson is very active and smart and all that stuff, so.
yeah,
Maybe somewhere to start. to find
yeah,
out.
absolutely. I'm happy to talk to
Gabe.
Gabe.
Yeah, if you could come back and report back.
Yeah.
With the commissioner, meeting, what's it called, reports, that'd be great, just keep us abreast of what's going on with that.
Yeah, you bet.
Anyone else? If not, we're at the moment of adjournment, and, we need a motion for that to happen.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
And a second,
I'll second it.
all in favor? Aye. Meeting adjourned.
Right.